So we're out here in West Tennessee at my family's little farm, and we just put in 2 new trees in the orchard. These are fig trees, and I'll put a little annotation saying what variety they are. I don't have that off the top of my head. But so this is the style we like to do. As you can see by that orange color in the dirt there, it's an extremely clayey soil, and yeah, so you see if we grab it, it's like pretty crumbled. You squeeze it, it just sticks. I mean, that is just extremely high clay content soil. So it retains water pretty well, but we also get pretty dry summers here. So you do want to retain as much water as possible. So we build a little swale. You can see that's not too high there. That's just how we do it. So you get a little semicircle swale, and that just catches some water, retains it for a little bit. That way after you rain, you don't have to come in water for about a week. And it keeps it nice and wet. And then what we do is we dig a tiered hole. So there's a hole about, it's about a 2-foot diameter hole, and the first foot is just a little bit into the ground, and we're gonna wood chip over this, and I'll show you that in the other trees. But that just, again, it gives it a little shelf to hold some water, and that the wood chips will kind of sink into that, and it helps them not wash away. And then under that, you'll put a nice little compost mix, and at the bottom of that, you want to mix it with the native soil, so the roots don't, shy away from going into the native soil. Anyway, so that's one we've planted. You can see the leaves are a little droopy. That's just because they're wet. This is a big red oak we recently cut down to make way. There's another one, same semicircle design. See, those leaves are a little more droopy. We just watered that one, but as they dry, it'll perk up a little more. Here you can see our apple orchard. We're gonna make. See which one's this? It should be Honeycrisp. Yeah, we got a lot of Honeycrisp and a lot of Red Delicious, and you can see they're already fruiting right there. And these ones are just covered in fruit spikes. Really, really good trees. So Honeycrisp, another Honeycrisp. This is where I'm going to make a quick note on 2 different pruning methods. So you're going to want to prune your trees, and this one we didn't prune it a whole lot because it actually got damaged in shipping. This one was broken right there. We made a little splint for it. Let's see if I can show you where it split. Yeah, you can see the damaged exposed heartwood there. If it focuses, there you go. So it got a big split in it. I cut a PVC pipe in half, and then, as you can see, I zip tied it together and made a little splint. And you can see by these green fruit spikes, it's going to be a productive tree still. So don't give up on them just yet. They're tough trees. Anyway, so pruning method. So this is what we call an open center, and you usually want to save that for stone fruit. So that would be more for something like a peaches or plums, things like that. You want to let the tree get some decent height on it. This one's about 2.5, 3 foot tall, and this one was also damaged in shipping, by the way. It just snapped right off, so I cleaned it up with the sanitized knife. And then you want to have either 3 or 4 arms coming out like this, and so you also want to look for good angles so you're not too sharp, because that'll just peel once it gets heavy. That with fruit, that branch will peel right off. So yeah, another Honeycrisp also got damaged in shipping. So that is the open center method. And then this one's not a perfect example, but this is what we call a central leader. So we've got, this one that was trimmed at the nursery, which was annoying, but I believe this is a pink lady or a gala, one of the two. I'll have to look at my planting diagram. But so you've got the arms coming out and everything, but rather than pruning it for an open center, we're following a central leader, which again, since this one got so messed up at the nursery, we kind of a funny shape to that central leader, but it'll work. And so you're just going to move out from that. These are going to end up looking somewhat Christmas tree shaped, kind of in a cone. And then let's see, if this one's the pink lady, then that other one was the gala. Yeah, okay, so this is the pink lady, that one's the gala. Here you can see the central leader more. So there's a trim at the nursery, and then came up to a central leader here. And yeah, you can see how we're letting the sides grow out. This is a much better example. This is how a central leader should look. So you've got the limbs on the bottom there. I believe this is a Red Delicious. Yeah, Red Delicious. And then you've got this real tall, it's probably a 7 or 8 foot tall central leader there. And you're gonna, you can let them get as tall as you want. I prefer to let them only get about 8 foot. This is my sad little olive tree. It's actually alive, but we'll see if it lives through another one. These wood chips are homemade off the property. We had to clear a lot of land. As you can see, it's been a while since it rained, and it's still quite wet in there. So that's good stuff. You want to get that thick stuff if you can. This one's another Honeycrisp. A lot of fruit spikes. But yeah, these are our methods. Also, this is my little setup. Some of these went in straight to where the roots were straight, but the trees ended up leaning for one reason or another. So just get a decent pipe here, bang it in the ground far away from the root cluster, and you want to give it an angle so it resists being pulled by the tree, because these things are pretty tough even when they're thin. And then you just cut up a plastic bottle so that it doesn't dig into the roots. It just kind of glides over the bark, or sorry, dig into the stump. It'll just glide over the bark instead. And then you use some metal wire that resists stretching, because that yarn will stretch over time, and that's a good way to straighten them up. Yeah, so I think most of these along the lengthways here are going to be, it's Red Delicious, Red Delicious, Red Delicious, and then 2 Honeycrisp, 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 Gala, Pink Lady. And then these figs I'll annotate later what they are. Yeah, they're young. It's just weighed down because he's wet from when we watered them. But perfectly healthy little things. They'll just take a year or two before they start fruiting. Anyway, so that's the orchard. So here you can see what we just removed from the olive trees that we had over the winter. This is just a real basic greenhouse. I'm pretty sure this is a plastic trash bag. We buried some of to like seal it. You got some just some basic wood spikes here, and internally you have like a metal fencing that we just turned into a cylinder. And yeah, they're reusable. No need to throw them away. And it's a good way to keep some trees if you're maybe like half a zone out of where you should be in the hardness zones. Here is some very goofy dogs. Here is our flower bed. We just have one right now, but hopefully we'll be getting more. But you can see some beautiful flowers we got here. Now these should just stay in the ground, stay alive, and keep coming up year after year. So yeah, we got some of these small yellow ones. I think these big ones that haven't fruited yet are also going to be yellow. I'm not entirely sure though. Got some other varieties that haven't come up yet. This is actually just to keep the women happy, but you know, happy wife, happy life, right? Here is the bee hive. Unfortunately, I see a little bit of activity, but that's actually a horsefly. This hive, interestingly enough, actually just, I don't know if it requeened or if it decided that there wasn't anything going for it here, but it just flew off. We found some dead bees, but most of these hives are going to be about anywhere from like 10 to 50,000 bees, and we did not find anywhere near that many corpses. So it's possible that it got robbed or merged with another hive. That's pretty rare. Not the robbing, but the merging. The most likely thing is it just flew off. But yeah, very important part of the homestead. Yeah, I'll do a video at some point on tree ID, but this isn't the oldest forest in the area by any means, but there are some pretty old, very hardwoods out here. And as you can see, we lost a white pine there a while ago with all the bark shredded off. I'm actually going to do I don't know if it'll be a series, but I'll at least do a video on some basic tree ID and some things you can look for in the woods. The next important part of a food forest would be some protein. These guys keep track of the ticks and everything. So, just want to make sure you got some meat, some eggs. Here's a week's spoils, with that one bit on the top there having just been laid. Talk about fresh. So when we first built this, we just had bare ground. We would lay some of this, this is just like pine shavings from Tractor Supply, but it quickly got really stinky from all the chicken shit. And you can still see some bare ground up here. It's just dirt. But this was like clay, and now it's a pretty rich soil under here. What this is just wood chips from the farm, from all the wood we've wood chipped, and some leaf matter we raked in here. And you can just see how black and rich the soil is. We've also got some raspberry plants growing up the back that we can use to feed the chickens. And in turn we'll put the chicken manure, nice soil on them, feed the plants will feed the chickens. So, it's a good combo. More flowers for more bees. Pollinators are important for pretty much every food producing plant, so make sure you have them. Also, chicken tip, magnolias. I don't know what it is about the magnolias, but there's something that the chickens love about them. Spend a lot of time under there. I think part of it's the shade, but also that really rich leaf layer under there attracts a lot of insects, namely crickets, which these guys just go crazy for. You know, you let them out and they'll go from being pent up in there to being pent up in there, just looking for crickets the whole time.
That frill around the
Can you film it?
Isn't it cool? Yeah.
That is incredibly cool.
You hear him? He's like grunting.
Yes. He does not like you.
Born a free man, die a free man. Even if that's on the run, I dream of freedom. Just me and my little machine gun. Born a free man, die a free man. Even if that's on the run, I dream of freedom. Just me and my little machine gun. Born a free man, die a free man. Even if that's on the run, I dream of freedom.